Hello there, welcome back here on Prime Morning. It's time for us to get beyond the headlines. And this morning we're looking at the extension of the SIM card re-registration. Now, you understand that we've been talking about this for a while now, over a period of a year and a half. And well, it's gotten to a point where we're hoping that the ministry would go on their deadline, the decision that they made, that at the end of July, we're going to have all SIM cards that have not been registered cut off from communications, and I'm talking about every form of communication, but that has not happened because there has been an extension. So this was actually something that a lot of people have shared their thoughts on, and we want to look at it beyond here on the show. Now, the new date for the deadline is September 30th. And so for those of you out there who probably do not have any idea, now over the weekend, was disclosed by the sector minister, Ursula Owusu-Ekufo, in a press conference that was held yesterday. Now, he says the program will be extended to 30th September to end the anniversary of the commencement, which will give us a full year. Any SIM card that has not been registered by end of August will be barred from receiving services, she said. Now, it will also be more expensive to use unregistered SIMs. The full rate of the punitive measures will be announced at another press briefing in September. It says, kindly not blame your service provider when you suffer that fate, she added. Now, this extension comes after numerous Ghanaians complained about the 31st July deadline that was given by the ministry. And for those of you out there, you know that the registration SIM cards originally began on October 1, 2021 and ended on March 31, 2022. But the ministry extended it to July 31. So we've had about 2 extensions now. And because most Ghanaians were actually not able to obtain the Ghana card, which is the only way you can have your SIM card registered. Now, do not forget that the Ghana card registration has ended and SIM re-registration has been extended, and the self-service we're talking about will come with a price of 5 Ghana cedis. Now, some update that the minister made on her social media page. I want to read that to you real quick. We'll be joined today on our interview. We'll have Manuel Cranton who will be joining me in studio here. We're also going to be talking to Abdul Ganiyu, who is the head of Department Corporate Affairs National Identification Authority. We'll find out some more about some of the things that we need to know moving forward with the extension, and how the Ghana card registration operation is also ongoing. But the minister on the social media pages posted some few things that I want to share with you if you're out there and you've not registered your SIM yet. Now, very pertinent amongst the things that she shared, it says that I have also been informed that some people who have obtained quick loans from their service providers have decided not to register those SIMs to avoid paying the loans. That is evil corruption, and you will be found out. Now, we'll find out from the telcos how they're going to deal with situations like these, and the ministry has actually spoken about it, and so we'll definitely get to that point where we get to know what exactly. But let me put a bit of statistics to it, and it says that, and is the ministry actually also speaking on this as well. It says that statistics that they have here has indicated that there was a 90% drop in the SIM registration as soon as the first deadline was extended on 21st March. Now, until a week ago, there were no queues at any registration center. People started rushing to register when they realized the deadline was imminent after going to sleep when it was extended. So there seems to be a drop anytime that is extended. I mean, there's a mad rush anytime that people are getting closer, or we're getting closer and closer to the deadline. But anytime there's an extension, there's a drop. And so I'm sure these are one of the reasons why I would trigger the ministry to go by their decision eventually when the last deadline has ended. But all of these we're going to find out here on the show and how we can go about it. Also joining us on Zoom this morning, we have from the telcos, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, Mr. Ken Ashibe, will be joining us this morning as well. And before we get to that, let me go on Zoom right now and speak to the head of Department for Corporate Affairs, who's joining us on Zoom, Dr. Abdul Ganiyu. Good morning, sir, and thanks for your time this morning.
Yes, good morning, and thank you very much for having me, and good morning to your viewers as well.
We're grateful that you're able to join us this morning. So we'd like to look at the issues that have, happened between the last 24 hours. I'm sure over the period, you've also tried as much as possible to ensure that your team works around the clock to ensure people will get registered for the national identification card, the Ghana card. Now, how's the process been so far in terms of the registration?
Well, if you would want me to run the registration statistics by you, I can do that.
I would appreciate that, sir.
Yes. So as of Friday, we had registered 17,204,296. 17,204,296, and we have printed 16,554,220. These are the number of cards we have printed out of the total number of Ghanaians enrolled. And we have issued out of the total cards printed 15,744,260. 15,744,260. So cards that are yet to be issued, if you take the difference between the printed and the issued, is 650,076. 650,076. So basically, these are brief statistics. It provides what the situation is at the moment. And going forward, our expectation will be that in the next 2 months, we should be able to enroll many, many, many more Ghanaians. So as long as they are interested and they show up at the NIA registration centers across the country.
All right, thanks for that. But just to poison that to the population of Ghana, you think that how much have we done so far? Are we closer to registering almost everybody?
Well, if you look at the registration statistics, this has to do with Ghanaians who are aged 15 years and above. And that has always been the first phase of registration, even before we go to Ghanaians who are under the age of 15. And going by the 2020 population and housing census, I know that there's always a population projection rate. So if for anything at all, that number surely would have gone up after 2 years. But Ghanaians who are age 15 years and above, based on the population and housing census, is 19,941,566. 19,941,566. So if you strike the difference, you are talking about a little over 2 million Ghanaians within this age bracket who have not yet registered for the Ghana card. So that's where we are at. So clearly, the percentage would give you something close to 90% so far in terms of those within this age bracket who have registered. So that's where we are in terms of the total number of Ghanaians who have registered for the Ghana card. And the reason for 15 years and above is certainly that they are the ones who will normally transact with an ID card, for instance, whether it's about the opening of a bank account, it's about pensions, it's about SIM card registration, so on and so forth. So for all the services that are being rolled out by state institutions and having to rely on the Ghana card, obviously people within this age bracket are the ones who would be targeted. So to that extent, NIA has been able to register about 90% of persons within this age bracket, and we shouldn't have problems. Over the course of the year or early next year, we will start registering Ghanaians who are below the age of 15.
Okay, so now the ministry is basing their registration of the SIM cards, from your quarters, because it's the card, that's the only card that you need to be able to register. Looking at the deadline that they've given right now on the 30th of September, would we be able to register enough people to ensure that, the cutoff point is something that will be possible, looking at the fact that we've extended it twice or thrice already?
Yes, I've always indicated, and which will provide proper context. So as far as the work of NIA and these other state institutions relying on the Ghana card is concerned, that NIA registration doesn't have a deadline. NIA is a state institution that is mandated by law to set up permanent regional and district offices that makes provision for Ghanaians to register continuously and for us to continue to render what we call identity management services. So to that extent, we cannot expect that at a certain time, every Ghanaian would have registered for the Ghana card. We will continue to add to the population as we continue to produce. And then also, we would also have persons who were 14 probably yesterday, now turning 15 today. So those people then become eligible for the smart identity card that you and I hold. So to that extent, we have been able to create permanent regional and district officers, 292 of them. And that should give opportunity to anyone who is interested in registering for the Ghana card to do so. So it's our expectation that for SIM card holders who are minded about not losing their SIM cards and have not yet registered for the Ghana card to be able to do so, they have a period of 2 months to do so. And it's just a question of accessing any of these regional and district offices, and they'll be able to register for the Ghana card.
Throughout this process, what has been the major issue or challenge that the authorities faced?
Well, I think our immediate challenge right now has to do with cards that have been printed and simply waiting for applicants to come and pick them up. So if you look at the difference between the number of cards issued and the number of cards printed, that is around 800,000 cards. And these are cards that are badged, boxed, and kept at our respective regional and district offices. They were mostly people who registered during the mass registration, but these cards couldn't be printed while we were in the field. And once we got them printed, we have moved the cards to the regions and to the districts that the registration took place.
So what are we going to do about it in terms of making sure that people whose cards have been printed pick them up? Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
100,000 of them. Ghanaians must simply go to offices, bring them more closer to the people. And in the next couple of weeks, that is what we did the registration, going back to where he or she did the registration for that card to be issued to such persons.
All right, I think I lost you over there, Ben. If you can go over what you said, sir, I would appreciate it.
Yes, quickly, you asked a question about what our challenges have been.
Exactly.
And I'm saying that the most significant challenge that confronts us are cards that we have printed over a year now, sent them to our regional and district offices. And indeed, these were places that those registrations took place. And once those cards have been printed, you need to take them back to those regional and district offices. We've done that. But unfortunately, a lot of people have not been able to go for these cards. And they are in the region of 800,000. So to the extent that the cards stay with us, we have to continue to manage them, make sure that they don't lose their functionality and all of that. So that's a major worry for the NIA. And in the next couple of weeks, we should be able to find other ways of bringing these cards much more closer to the people and then getting the cards issued to them.
Okay, I'll come to you again, but let me go on the other side on Zoom, where I have Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe. He's the Chief Executive Officer for Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, joining us this morning. Yes, sir, good morning, and thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
We're grateful that you're able to join us. Is this a welcome news, or you're a bit disappointed that we couldn't meet the deadline, especially knowing the fact that you've put a lot of work into this, making sure that the telcos get to, align properly for this change?
Well, you would say that there's a bit of disappointment in there, but you also would want as many Ghanaians as possible to register. The disappointment basically is from the fact that if you look at in March, when the extension was announced, you got a major drop in the numbers of subscribers who were going to the MNOs offices, the various places that we had set up, even the outreach programs that we were doing, and then as well as going to the NIA centers to also go do the registration. I remember the NIA had themselves set up some additional stadia that they were doing registration at. The numbers just dried up in there. And you also consider the fact that, about 60% have done their the first phase, but under 40% have done their second phase. So it means even that 20% difference between those who have done the first phase and the second phase is not a Ghana card issue. But then, these people have not gone on to do their second phase of registration. And, the point that has to be made is that these registration cost the MNOs a lot of money. You are deploying extra resources, people, you've had to give people smartphones to go into the market, you're paying them, and all of that too. This is also taking the time that you needed to do other things. You find out that even a lot of our communication channels have been dedicated to this SIM registration. So, our hope was that a lot more Ghanaians would have taken up and gotten their SIMs registered. Definitely, we know that there's a caveat that those Ghanaians who do not have Ghana cards, who definitely would fall under that, and there are a few other challenges as well. People who, through no fault of theirs, could do it. But, the tendency for us all to be very last minute is not the best. Let me give you another scenario. We did some coding training as part of our 10th anniversary, giving back to society. So we went to APAM 3 weeks ago to do the coding training. And as part of that, we went through the town of APAM, telling people that we bought SIM registration, that 31st July was at hand. I can tell you that most the 3 MNOs sat there with their teams. Very few people came. Then the week after, we went to Nsawam. The same thing played out. But just last Wednesday, we went in Chairman to do the same thing again. And the numbers, the queues, so people were waiting till the very last moment. And that's the bit that is not good. So I am just hopeful that Ghanaians will take advantage of this last window that has been given. Those who do not have Ghana cards, go apply for the Ghana cards. And I know the NIA themselves are working to ensure that they can, make sure that there are cards in all the district offices and the regional offices that they've opened, so that a lot more people could get their Ghana cards. And then people should then make sure that they go to the agents and get registered, or if they want to do their self-registration as well, they do the self-registration. Because definitely, beyond, with all the engagement we've had as industry, beyond this extension, it's not going to be wholesale extended again, and there are going to be some punitive actions that we as MNOs do not want to happen. So we would want to encourage all that we should take advantage of this 2-week period and be able to register our SIMs.
Okay. Sir, the one other big issue has to do with the quick loan that people have taken. And the minister, speaking on the press conference that she held, actually spoke about the fact that some people have even decided not to go and register because they want their lines cut off so they can enjoy the monies that they've borrowed. Now, this happens to be one of the major issues that your chambers will be facing in terms of making sure that these monies are collected back. What are you doing about it? She describes it as evil and corruption. I don't know what you want to describe this.
Well, you see, it's not right, and for people, you go borrow money and you don't want to pay. And so, but the thing that subscribers need to know, especially those who registered, is that there were some details that they provided, so whether they register again, re-register their SIMs again, there are some details of theirs. And then Ghana is also becoming very interconnected. And so there are various ways in which, you're able to find out who took that particular loan. And, because the SIMs that they used in taking these loans, they've left a lot of digital trails behind. And so they will definitely be found. They will definitely be found. And so I would urge all of them, that as much as possible, we should all try, whatever loan you've taken, pay it back. You get to get a lot more. And then if you don't pay, it also goes to affect your credit rating. And one day, you might have a good deal, a good business. You're going to take a loan. Might not be from the telcos again. It might be from the banks. But this might impact your credit rating, and then you will not be able to get, the loan or the credit facility that you're asking for. So it's important to educate all our subscribers that the fact that you don't register your SIM does not mean that you get away with it. Yes. On that particular SIM, you could change the SIM, but your digital records are available, and we would be able to find you out. Even as a chamber, we're trying to put together a credit referencing bureau, so we don't have people move around various networks, racking up credit in one place and then going to the other just to go and take it again and abuse the system. And these are the things that we're hopeful that once we get SIM registration going, the level of default would reduce, and so that even the interest that is given on our loans for all of us would also come down. So I would urge those who do that their time has completely run out. We would find them out. And the same thing also is not only those who have borrowed money. There are people who also are using registered SIMs in other people's names, and they are, they're using it to defraud people, and they are afraid to go register it as well. So we know that as we look at the numbers, there are few of the numbers that you need to discount, because those people, those criminals would not want to come forward and might not want to register their SIMs again. So those have to definitely be discounted. But we will urge everybody that, let's take advantage of this. We know that there are about 3.7 or so million Ghanaians, including the 800 and something that my brother Abdul Ghani mentioned, who have not gone, who don't have their cards. Those we need to find ways of dealing with. And I'm sure with our engagement with the NI, some of the places we're even thinking of possibilities of co-locating, at some of our MNOs places, so that people who go there can do the SIM, can do their Ghana card and do the SIM registration together. So there's a lot of collaboration going on, and we would continuously want to work to ensure that one, we can get a Ghana card in a lot of people's hands, and then we can also, in the process, also make sure that we are registering a lot. We are making sure that Ghanaians also, register their SIMs, and they don't lose the ability to make calls and use data services.
With all that you said, sir, you think that the September deadline, the target, is something we'll be able to achieve? The ministry will be able to crack the whip on that?
Well, I know for certain that come September, there would be some implications for not registering your SIM. Whether everybody else would register, I'm not too sure about that. That's a function of what all of us would do. As MNOs, we have our roles to play. We have We're not just sitting and waiting for customers to come to us. We are taking the registration to people. We'll continue to do that. MNOs are calling people and direct calls to people who we know have not registered, asking them to come and register. There are SMSs that are going to people. Even MNOs that are offering data, data for free for those who do their registrations. We would use all these channels to continue to ensure that Ghanaians can register. We also know that there's beyond our ability to register using agents, the self-registration, is coming up. We want to see how that goes and how that works. Once that happens as well, people who are not able to walk to the centers themselves can do that as well. And definitely once that is done as well, you have Ghanaians who are outside the jurisdiction, who can use those who have Ghana cards can use it. Those who don't have Ghana cards will be able to use their passports to be able to register SIMs that they have outside. We also know that the NIA, for example, is talking about from September, they will start issuing Ghana cards to Ghanaians abroad. That would also make it easier for those Ghanaians abroad, to be able to register. But then there's the issue of those who are physically challenged, who are unable to register this time. Hopefully they also will be able to resolve their challenge for them. There are challenges also with some Ghanaians who did their registration offline and the synchronization has not happened. We'll work with the common platform provider, to be able to ensure we resolve that. There are some Ghanaians too who, when they register, it's as if there's a reconciliation issue that happens. And so when they attempt to register, it will tell them that data have been sent already. That between ourselves, the NIA, the NCA, I'm sure we should be able to work to make sure that we can, that's about 250,000 people who are in that bracket. We are also able to resolve their challenges for them. Our brothers and sisters who are in Boku, for example, because of the insecurity in those places, as government works to improve security in that place, hopefully with the self-registration, they also, would be able to register their SIMs as well. So, and I'm sure we also will be looking a bit more into the engineering in the way to be able to segregate those who have actual reasons why they can't register and those who do not have, so that when the time comes for some of these punitive actions to be taken, you then can tell that these people, by no fault of theirs, could not register. So you don't apply that to them. Those are things that the engineers would really be looking at.
Okay, that's a lot of work, but I'm sure we'll be able to achieve that target. But many thanks to you this morning for joining us. We appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you very much.
And that's Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe, the Chief Executive Officer for the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, joining us over here with a deadline that has been extended for the SIM card re-registration. I don't know if you've registered your car yet or not, but the conversation we're having over here, it's something that would interest you and would be a reason why you may want to even go ahead and register. In the studio with me, I've got Manuel also joining me here. Manuel Cranton is with us here with the Multimedia Group. But Manuel, I'm going to take your take on what is happening on the ground, but let me just wrap it up with Dr. Ganiwu quick. And Doc, if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, so Doc, it looks as if that we're gradually getting towards the point where we'd all be able to say that this has come to stay, and it's the reason every single person has to be involved. Now, your team, you heard Dr. Kent speaking about the fact that they're going to collaborate with you to ensure that people who have owned monies that are supposed to be paid for the telcos are able to do so. How are you looking at this picture, and if you think it's something we'll be able to achieve?
Well, it's very, very simple. No one can really get away with it. As he rightly indicated, you have left some trails, for whatever transactions you have had to undertake on various digital platforms. Even your name is enough for NIA to run a check on you and be able to pull out your data. So it's so simple, and no one is going to be able to get away with it. So it makes sense and very compelling that everyone gets registered for the Ghana card. And if you already have the Ghana card, you simply go ahead to re-register your SIM. So there's no way anyone is going to get away with it. And I have to also say that once we are doing data harmonization, what that means is that if you go to SNIT, it's the same information or data you would have left there. If you go to Controller and Accountant General, it's the same information you'll be leaving there. You've gone to purchase the land, it's the same information you are leaving behind. So basically, when we have been able to bring everyone to this central point called the National Identification Register, there's absolutely no way anyone will feel that if you have taken a quick loan, then it's just a question of deactivating your SIM and you are safe. That's not going to happen.
All right. Many thanks, sir, for joining us. We appreciate your time. We're grateful this morning. All right, so that's the conversation we're having. We'll go for a quick breather. When we come back, we'll be taking your thoughts on it. Manuel Cranston is joining me in the studio as well. We'll have more conversations coming up right here on the show. Stay with us.
Professor Kenatifa.